Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk with Tammy, brought to you by BKNI Resources. BKNI Resources is a comprehensive consulting company in working with individuals, businesses, schools, government, and organizations. They have a 10-year long track record in conducting seminars, workshops, and individual series on personal branding and appearances. So, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, this show features interesting personalities from all walks of life, sharing profound insights into relevant topics. I'm Tammy, your host, and my basis for the show has always been about sharing my personal journey to learn anything that piques my curiosity or interest. So, for today's episode, I am bringing somebody who actually I know from previous experience. So, let me introduce to you, Anita. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Hi, thank you, Tammy. Thank you for having me today.
Okay, so before we proceed further, let me just give a short intro on Anita. She's born and bred in Ipoh. She is studied in Tasmanian Convent. That's also my mom's school, by the way. Graduated in Nila University College. Explored career in banking, logistics, and IT industry. And currently, she is running her own business, her own company, apart from the service to the people. So she's currently honored as the Chief of Youth Women of Justice Party of Wilayah Persekutuan State, Malaysia since 2020, and recently she represented Parlimen Wanita Muda 2021. And her current mission is to bring awareness and help to those who are victims of domestic abuse and violence. So I think based on that intro, we kind of figured out already. For those of you who still haven't figured out, it's about politics, right? So the main point here is to talk about what is actually stopping all of us, any of us, to join politics, especially the youth or the women, especially now in the current situation where we feel like, I'm pretty sure I know I did think about, okay, you know what, I could have done a better job. Maybe I should join politics. But then the thought just ends there because, oh, who's got the time for that? That is basically involving, I don't know, maybe you would clarify that for me later on, involves a overhaul of your life, maybe, right? So before that, before I go into the questions, let me just remind to those of you who are watching, this is live on Facebook and YouTube. So if you have any questions for Anita, you can comment and I can actually view those questions. I can project the questions on screen for Anita to answer them. Right. So my first question to you, Anita. I knew you 2 years ago. We joined the pageant together. I don't remember having any conversations with you about you joining politics. So what happened? What made you join politics all of a sudden? Could you share your personal journey a little bit?
Okay, when 3 years ago, when I was joining with the pageant, I was still in politics, but it was not a bigger picture of my life. So
Mm,
it was still a very learning time, a very beginning time of me just getting started. So before that, yes, I've been involved in a lot of NGOs, a lot of women empowering, a lot of I always have these dreams of empowering women and youths and helping those women to come and stand on their self and like something to do something and to make some changes. You want to be an inspiration to someone, right? So
mm,
that has been a dream for me. So while I was, and pageant was one of the reasons that actually I joined. I thought, it's empowering, like, of course,
mm,
I did have some knowledge and experience towards it, but it doesn't stop there. It was still curiosity on myself, how far I can go, on doing this. So that's when politics came in. So I
mm,
started with my friends, and we just wanted to make some changes and want to get involved because I think our country was going into some crisis during the previous election. So before that itself, we had a lot of this Versailles rally, and then there's a lot of protests and things like that. So that's when it came into my mind. Like I understand that everyone thinks politics is something very deep. To go in,
mm,
and it's not, especially for women, they think it's not safe, and it's not a great platform for them to shine and everything. So, but
mm-hmm,
I got it wrong because I started it to go in as a citizen, like just standing at the back and complaining about this and this. Why not we just take a step? Of course, you don't need to straight away go for a very higher level and
Yeah.
think of the large amount of issues that we want to face, but you can start somewhere small and start
Yeah.
a small group to help. So
Mm.
that's when I started to learn. I started my interest on it, and I started to go in and explore what I wanted and everything. So that's how the journey was. I think so. During my pageant time, it was still a very very beginning stage of myself exploring. So that's why I was not like telling everybody, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You don't want to blabber yourself around, right,
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
somebody sees you that you're doing something.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
that's when it started. So once I went in, I think I'm really blessed because I have good leaders with me. So
Mm-hmm.
the guidance throughout it was very good and progressive even until today. So so I think it's something, it's a decision that I made that it's a good decision now. Like
Okay.
it was not a bad one. Yeah.
Okay. So can I ask, when you say I entered, what does that mean? Like, what was the first step? How do you enter politics?
Okay, so basically we have a lot of parties in Malaysia, right? So
Right.
you have to understand which party that actually gives you the inspiration to go in, because when you enter politics, yes, you need some base, you need some
Right.
grounds, and you need some leaders. You can't do it alone. You can't think
Yep.
that I'm one man show. It's always
Mm-hmm.
comes with teamwork. So that's
Yep.
when you select which party that you think is suitable for us. And also, like for myself, I have choose Keadilan, Justice Party of Malaysia, because I find it is one of the most democratic party in Malaysia.
Mm.
And I was so blessed to meet the people and the leaders that was able to help me to groom me a better person and a better leader as well.
Mm.
So that's when it gave me more and more, to be more active and more things to learn, and it never
Right.
stopped me so far.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
so that's how you start. You just have to go become a member, and then
Become a
you
member.
become a member, and then there's every places from wherever you are. Let's say you're in Ipoh, you can find where is the office, and you can try to become a member, and you can see where you can start off, and people will guide you, along the way.
Mm.
So
Right.
that, yeah.
Okay. But the thing is, you only started maybe at a very low level into 2019, and then now here you are, holding positions.
Okay,
So,
I started way back before that
oh,
actually. I started somewhere in 2017. If not
so
today,
basically,
I
when you
mean that
said
time
you, mm-hmm.
I became a member. I became a member
Member.
first. Yes, I just became a
Okay.
member first, and I was just watching, and I just will go for any events to help out or any small functions, and just a very very small thing. So things started growing, and then when you start to meet more people, and eventually they see you're a potential person. That's when it
Mm-mm.
slowly started. Yeah.
Right. Okay. But so let's say, for example, someone would just like to join a party because, they resonate with the party's ideals, but they feel like, okay, you know what, I just would prefer to be in the background. So someone still can just join as a member and then maybe take part in any of the activities they organize. And you can still remain that way if you're not interested in going further, right?
Yes, correct. It
Okay.
can be done that way. It all depends on you. Nobody's going to come and force you, oh, you must be this, you must do that. No, there's no such
Right,
thing.
right, right.
It's always works according to how comfortable you are and what are the things that you're willing to explore within yourself. If you only
Mm,
want to stand at the back and then you just want to assist, for the people, and then you just do it in a way. If you want to come out, you want to be exposed as a part of, involving with people and problems, and into the party, then it's a different task for you. So it always depends on you which side that you want to, and both
right.
sides goes well. It
Mm,
doesn't matter just because you are a leader in front, people are watching you, and that's when you're doing well, and at the back people, whoever is doing at the back, they are not doing well. No, it's not that. You will
mm.
definitely develop yourself in many areas.
Right, right. Okay. So you told me earlier that you have always been interested to help. You have joined NGOs and things like that. And some people would prefer to remain that way. Just join NGOs. I don't want to be part of politics. So why politics interested you? Like, why did politics also matter to you in your pursuit of trying to do good things for the people.
Okay, yeah. So in my opinion, okay,
Mm-hmm.
of course, NGOs are doing very well and helping people in terms and all. There's no
Right.
difference, but the only one difference to create a solution and policies. Where do you end up?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you end
Mm-hmm.
up for creating a solution, a policies? I give you one simple example.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, on something that I've been doing for sexual harassment.
Right.
Okay, sexual harassment that has been going on and on and on. Okay,
Mm.
we have many parties that involving to assist on the victim, on assist on the whoever has been involved in this matter and all. So, but until today, we are still fighting to have some solution, some policies that can strongly implement to the
Yeah.
people. So, where does it gonna come from? It's
Right.
from the
Right. Right.
government, right? It's
Yep.
from the
Mm.
parliament. So
Yep.
that's when how powerful politics is, you will understand. When you're
Right.
fighting for something, you want a solution, you want to
Right.
solve, so but where that can happen when it's
Mm.
become a policy, when it's
Mm.
been highlighted by government and it's being brought up by government and implemented by government. So to become a government, you have to become a politician, right? So
Right.
that
Right.
that's where my journey, in my opinion, went through. So
Right.
that is the difference. It's just that it's not that and just doesn't do their job. It's like, yes, you do. When you're an NGO, you do your job, but how far you can go.
Right.
So that's what mattered to me.
Okay. I think you very perfectly explained the difference because yeah, NGO, but NGO helps once the problem has arisen. You
Yeah,
help the victims, but if you want a systemic reform, I think it has to go back to policies, and policies means you have to become a politician. Yeah, I think that's perfectly said. Going through this journey of yours, like what for the past from since 2017 now 4 years, right? Did you have any personal struggles to that led you to where you are right now?
yeah, I did have my personal struggles because I'm not a full time politician. I only do
Yes,
it as part time. But the things that I've been doing, people started asking, "Are you like full time politician?" No, I'm not a
right.
full time politician. I still have my work
Yes.
to be done, and to focus on. So of course, Monday to Friday, you're busy with your works. Okay, and
Mm,
of course. Living in Wilayah, how busy the life is, and then sometimes you got to attend meetings after your working hours, and then your
right.
weekend, Saturday, Sunday, you have to push yourself to go and do what you need to get things done. So this
Right.
kind of things, it's consume a lot of time, right?
Mm,
You have to sacrifice your time, your
right.
entertainment, and
Right.
whatever things, and at the same time, you have to focus on your career development, your self
Right.
development. Okay,
Right.
just because you're already holding a position, it doesn't stop you from learning. You also still need to learn and move forward. How to become better from wherever you are.
Mm,
So,
mm-hmm.
so that are the challenges on my side. Like, because the time my time is really full. It's really full. That is one thing. So sometimes, like, I just miss spending time with my friends, with my family,
Mm,
and all. But of course, they
right.
all understand those parts. And
Yeah.
other than that,
Yes, I
in
think I
terms,
can vouch for that. We have yet to have our dinner.
yes, correct. I am yet to have my dinner. Yes, so busy and then preparing for this. I think it's gonna after this. So yeah, your time will be always consuming, and then of course, apart from that, you also need to look when you already have a position and you are leading some people and you have some people to guide and all, and you have to look into that as well. So it's like to people and also to your people, so that
Mm,
because you have a team, right? So you have to
right.
always take care of people around you as well, so that they are
Mm,
also learning and progressing just like you are. So that is that the challenge that I'm having.
right. Right. So you mentioned earlier about how you are not doing this full time.
Mhm.
So can anyone? Yeah, of course, anyone can become a member of the party, right? Because you don't have to have certain rules for that. But in order to become a politician, are there specific rules? Like you shouldn't be having certain kind of jobs, or should you? Are there
Yeah,
anything at all? No,
no,
you can,
no.
right?
Yes, you can just become a member. You can just be silent and help from the back end. And you can become a member and just come and join us whenever we have doing programs for people. Like you can see for the past few months because of this COVID pandemic, we've been trying to help people on distributing grocery things and items and whatever that we can help for the people and needs. So
Right.
it's a short program that we will organize during the daytime.
Mm.
Depends on what time. It's like 1 to 2 hours in a place. So it depends on where we are going and everything. It's not going to take like 5 6 hours. So you
Right.
can just come and join, and of course on weekends when I was doing, I'll have in multiple places to go around Wilayah state itself. But if you are from certain division, then you can just come and join at that particular division programs.
Mm.
It's not a force or necessary thing for you to compulsory degree. It's up to you. We are
Right.
not doing forcing work here, so it's always your voluntary and your
Yeah.
interest. Yeah.
Mm.
So if you are a student, you think you are studying and it's gonna take a lot of time for you to go. No, it's not gonna take a lot of time. Trust me, it's there's always other alternative ways. So and and nowadays, I think during this PKP and lockdown, everything is online now.
Yep.
So most of the things that we are trying to assist is all online compared to
Right.
physical activities. So
Mm.
I think online is good choice, right? Like people can still join from wherever they
Yep.
are. So
Yep. Okay. And since we're talking about joining politics, a lot of people tend to have a stereotypical view about politics or politicians in general. Like, all politicians are corrupt, or even if you go in good, you're going to end up being corrupt, because if not, you can't, how to say, sustain in a situation where, you're the only clean person in the room. And I think because of that, a lot of well-meaning people think twice before they consider, or, before they want to join politics. So how are you working on erasing the stereotype that, not all politicians are like that?
yes, not all politicians are like that. I think some of them have already realized that by now, according to what's the crisis country is going through, right?
Mm, mm,
But then, of course, at the least, I will talk about it because it's not safe on a very open platform. But what I
mm-hmm.
can tell is that is the purpose of we are encouraging more youths to come in now. Okay, the reason why you can see there's a lot of politicians that we still look up to, which have joined during their very young age, like YB Nurul Izzah, YB Prabhakaran, and Sheikh Sadi. So there are many of them that are inspiring us, correct? So
Mm,
that is the reason we want to develop more younger generations to come into politics, so that at least for the next 10 years or 15 years for our child, or we'll have a better country. That's the reason we want to have more youths, more educated people, more strategic people to come in into politics, so that we can have a better future. If everybody wants to back out now, saying because the politics is corrupted, dirty, and blah blah, so who's going to be there? End up the same people.
yeah,
So this
yeah,
has to change. The
right.
mentality of thinking that politics is corrupted have to be changed by only getting in. Correct?
Mm,
If everybody wants to step back, who's going to take over?
correct.
Correct. And
Yep.
if you tell me, even in a corporation, like wherever we work,
Right.
okay, I've worked in banking, I've worked in logistics, I've worked in like various companies and clients and all. Where do you think there's no politics? You tell
Mm-hmm.
me. Everywhere there's politics, right? It's just
Right.
that how you want to deal with it, right?
Right.
And of
Correct.
course, your second question saying, like, even if you are good and like a good person and end up going inside and become a corporate, it always depends on you. You
Correct.
always decide what you want to be for yourself. It doesn't
Right.
matter how your surround is, correct?
Mm,
So no
mm,
matter how bad your surrounding is, how negative is your surrounding is, you don't need to get influenced if you are stick to what principles you are, correct?
right. Yeah.
So
Yep.
that is my opinion and views.
Right. I think it's great because, yeah, we can only either we can just sit at one corner and complain
Correct.
that there's no point going in, and then you don't bother to change, And then
Yes.
obviously there's not going to be any changes if you don't bother to change yourself.
Yes. Just
Okay.
imagine if like every house there's one person get involved,
Mm.
and of course they have this principle and not into a corrupted politician. Huh? So, in a right way, in a right attitude, in a right character,
Yeah.
And do you think there will be a better change in another next 10 years?
Mm.
Correct or not? And
Definitely.
not like,
Yeah.
like because this is my point of view. Those days are not same like how it is today. So I think there's a lot of changes and improvement and all. So of course we want to make it better. So we
Mm.
can't just sit and complain and ignore it.
Right.
We have to
Okay.
come forward, and do something. We don't
Mm.
need to be the as I said, being just a alimba. I mean, like being just a parliamentary member is not the only thing in politics. There's
Right.
a lot of other things at the back happening. So
Mm.
those are the things that you need to understand.
I think you brought up a really important point here. So if you want to create awareness, right, like what you said, what if everybody, there's one person in every household who wants to join a party? Can you like maybe elaborate on what are the things a political party would do for their constituents? Like the kind of things, let's say for example, I just want to join, but I want to join as in like just to take part in helping the community. Will there be, I mean, of course, now considering the pandemic, there's going to be a lot of programs to help. But let's say there isn't on a normal day, on a normal situation. What are the things that we can take part in as just a party member?
Okay, well, I wouldn't know what all other parties are doing, but I can tell
Yeah,
you one of
of
my
course, from your
experience.
personal
That,
experience. Yeah,
yeah, my personal experience, because I handle with more to youth women's, right?
yeah.
Okay, so we focus on young women's problems. Okay, so for example, there are single mothers, okay,
Mm,
who need help. Okay,
mm,
and this was one of the project that I did in 2019. There was some allocation by the government giving for the people, all right, for these single mothers who doesn't have any support from the kids or husband or anything. And there are a lot of rural areas people who are not even aware of such thing. Okay,
mm,
they don't even know how to apply, how to submit this, okay, application for them to get this allocation.
mm,
So what I did was I just assisted them on the submitting application for them to get to them. So that was something a very simple task to do. I don't need to get involved any money. I don't need to get involved any luxury things or what. You just that go there, set up a place, explain them what are the details that I need from them. What are the forms that I will need from them, and then I will assist them to submit online, or I will just collect a hard copy to assist them submit over the office.
mm.
So these are the things that basic things that we were doing. And then of course when there's a family that needs food, okay, during the pandemic there was a lot of families who were struggling without basic grocery things.
Yeah,
So whatever that we can get from the uh, state level government and or federal government, we try to request, on behalf, because for them they wouldn't know how to go and where to go and who to ask and everything. So of course
yeah.
now there's a lot of things out, but back then there was very minimal things for them to reach out to.
Mm,
So these are the things that we try to assist. So we will, set up a time and, and of course we will advise how many people we are able to contribute for that particular day. And we will inform the leader of that place, or they will have like a ketua kampung, or, those person. So we will communicate with them and see who are the people, needed to get first. So we will arrange and then we will continue to distribute. So along with that, these are the programs for the people and all. So apart from that, of course, for as a party member, just going and helping the community is not only thing that we focused. We
mm,
focus about self development. So as a
mm.
young women development, so we have courses of self
Right.
development, like what is the politics value basic, and then what are the young women should start focusing, and how do you talk, how do you represent yourself in public, and there are a lot of things that how do you communicate, how do you address issues. and how do you tackle your problems among people. All these are self development um, short courses or certification that we also do for the
Right.
members. Yeah,
Right.
so it's not only about doing for the people, it's also about
Mm.
yourself. So you have to continuously learning to develop yourself, right? So
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great because I feel like nobody is talking about it. Nobody is talking about joining a political party that you align yourself with, you resonate with. Just do things through that party, which is great as well. Just as how you would, join an NGO to help. And I think a lot of people are not aware that there is this avenue for youths who are privileged enough to have the time and the money to go and help, to go and join this, and then help the community through the party. Okay, okay.
Okay.
So,
So that is,
sorry.
yeah. I mean that is the thing that certain people they don't get it fully. Because
Mm.
there's a lot of other things for you to understand about politics.
Yeah, because you see what I mean when it comes to politics, all you see is the sensational ones on news, and you don't see all this actual background things that is happening that helps the community. And
Correct.
anyone can join, anyone can use this chance to give back to the community, right? And earlier you was talking about how more youth and more women have to join. It is important, if we want to see change. But then you have within the political sphere itself about how the older politicians
Mm-hmm.
tend to ridicule younger politicians or women politicians.
Mm-hmm.
So based on your experience, based on your personal experience, what is being done so far to improve on this? To improve this, maybe the lack of respect towards young politicians, women politicians.
Okay, so my answer might be a bit tricky.
Okay.
Okay, so that is why I say that is why I'm in Justice People's Party, because
Right.
as a Srikandi Keadilan, okay, Srikandi
Mm-hmm.
Keadilan, we call it as Srikandi Keadilan because youth women, we represent youth women side, all right, with the age of between 18 to
Mm-hmm.
35. Okay, so
All right.
in our party, okay, I don't know about other
Mm-hmm.
party, but in our party, we prioritize youngsters. That is what
Right.
our head of women, who is YB Fuzia Saleh, is doing, and of course has my leader, acting leader, has Ryan Abdullah as well. She's the Sri Kandi national leader for time being. So they both have developed the group of youth women Sri Kandi into a different
Mm-hmm.
level. Okay, if you see, we had some crisis over the past 2 years when
Mm.
we had some people, jumping out of the party and going off, and also those are the times was very critical to develop these peoples and especially young women's, because if you see young women's, right, they're between age 18 to 35. So
Mm.
between this age, what are they doing?
Right.
They'll be finishing school, they'll be graduating, and then they'll be finding new job, and then they will
Right.
be also getting married, having babies. It's a very very challenging period of time. So if they don't have a proper support from the leaders, how do they want to get themselves involved? It's a very
Mm.
important thing for them to look into. So that
Correct.
is why I will say that, like, my party, the current party that I am serving for,
Mm-hmm.
is someone that is giving importance to the youths. So
Right.
they constantly develop the leaders and women, and also provide assistance. And we
Mm-hmm.
have our sisterhood. I would say it's a sisterhood because we are very close. We are not just a political member within each other, but we develop a sisterhood community among us. That means we help
Mm-hmm.
each other. We will motivate each other, and we will try to face the challenge together. So it's a very beautiful thing in this party that I have found myself being in a sisterhood with Sri Kandi Keadilan. I would proudly say that, because
Mm-hmm.
that is one of the reasons that I can stand here today and even talk to you, because
Mm-hmm.
of the development that I have gone through and the things that I have been coming up from my background of politics.
Right. Right. Okay. I think there's a follow-up question from our viewers. Let me just show you that question. So Jagan is asking, hi, I wonder that we have more senior politicians now. Do you
Mhm,
think the older politicians are the wiser one, or we
mhm.
have failed to empower youth into politics? Please give your opinion on this.
Okay, I wouldn't say that the elder ones is the only wiser one. Okay, as you can see today, we have a lot of youngsters are coming in, and as you can see, whoever are youngsters in Parliament are also doing well. But it has to be a both combination,
Mm,
because youths, they have the aggressiveness, they have different ideas, they have different strategies. That are the advantage of youth politicians.
mm,
And the elder ones, they have experience, they have knowledge, they have a lot of things that can input to the younger generation, but maybe the methods to implement can be come from the youth generation. So that
right.
is what we are looking at. It has to be balanced. So
Mm,
that is what we are encouraging. And if you put everybody youth and everybody elder, it's not gonna work any better. So it has to
right,
be balanced, and it has to
right,
be cooperative. So that is
right.
what I mean. Of course, there are challenges currently. I wouldn't say no,
Mm-hmm.
but we are looking forward to have some changes.
Right.
So yeah. So I hope I answered your question, Devin.
Do you mind sharing what kind of challenges you think you see? Why do you think there's always a clash between the older and the younger politicians? Why do they not see themselves as a unit? Okay, let me just ask one thing. Okay, we usually see whenever there is a problem, it's always between opposite parties, right? So of course they're going to fight for different things. But within the same party, do you think there is some sort of some sort of difference of opinions between the older politicians and the younger politicians, and how do they solve those kind of conflicts?
Basically, it has to end up in a discussion anyway, on
Mm,
the things that they're fighting for, and to see
mm,
uh, which are the opinions are taken more into consideration. So, and apart from just individual, it comes with a majority support.
mm,
So that are the things that you should look into it. So even though if it's a idea that is bringing in to implement something new and all, so regardless from who it comes, it has to be supported by most of us in order to see whether it's a good idea to go forward, right?
mm,
So that is one thing. And of course, as I know, in current situation, there's a lot of um, platforms that they will expose themselves, to actually tell people on what they want to do, right? So they have another options on that. So in order for them not to have this kind of conflicts, it's better to have a harmony discussion within the elder and the youth, because it always works two way. So
mm,
I have seen, like, yeah, there's fight today, but there's tomorrow, there's understanding, and there's a conclusion together. And
mm,
probably there's a conclusion today, and later they have a different opinions and all. So it happens, because by end of
mm,
the day, you can't just go alone or walk alone and be a one man show in this
mm,
teamwork. You always must have teamwork. So that is why I say, regardless of whether you're young or you're old, the things that you're doing, it depends on people around you are supporting you or no. and
mm,
and of course, you have to be always ready to take up other people's views and comments. You
mm.
can't be putting yourself in a state that, oh, I am right, this is what right. You can't do that. You have to
Right.
understand other people's views, and you have to do a lot of other strategic work for
Mm.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what I think. You have to set that ideology of a certain party already. Like what you said, your party have always been about empowering youth. So I
Yep.
think once you make that a common mission of a certain political party, okay, we are going to empower more youth. I think it will slowly change whoever who might have a different opinion on that, because
Correct.
since the whole body is working towards that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. Correct.
Okay. So I hope I hope Anita answered your question, Jagan. Okay. So you mentioned earlier about which I'm actually very intrigued about that, because I don't know why that basically just missed my mind about how people can just be a member and do things. You don't have to be debating in parliament, and that is the only way you can help people.
Correct.
But what are the other avenues for youth to be more politically active? Are there any other avenues for youth to join and become politically active?
Yes, of course. But I mean, politics parties are the main thing if you want to really focus on politics. But other than
Mm-hmm.
that, you can also join other NGOs that related to politics. All right. So, like I say, Undi 18. Okay, that's
Mm.
also one platform, and then Secretariat Solidarity. So that is also one. And recently, I have also joined. I mean, I have represent Parlimen Wanita Muda. So it's also
Mm.
a constitution. These are the platform that actually you can even like the Parlimen Wanita Muda. It is not necessarily you are a politician you join. Okay, you
Oh,
can be a student. Yeah, I mean the join. There was 222. Um, you know. Representative from all over Malaysia. So
right.
and all of them was like student, whoever is active in NGO, and some of them are politicians, and there are variety of backgrounds. So those are the platforms that actually you can get yourself involved, in order indirectly to be in a political, uh, environment and all. So there are many actually. It's just that you have to start seeing which one suits you and makes
Mm.
you move.
Okay, so those are also considered to be politically. I mean, that's also considered to be politics. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we are talking about youth in politics. Okay, forget about joining politics. So let's talk about being aware of politics.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see there's a difference. I mean, like personally, I have Twitter, I have Facebook, and I can see the kind of conversation is total opposite. What I notice is the youth on Twitter are much more aware, but then again, there are mostly urban youths. They are of a higher, probably of a higher socioeconomic background. They are from the cities, so they have the privilege and the exposure about things. They know things more compared to the rural area people, rural youth.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there are similar level of awareness, or do you think that there's still work that needs to be done, especially in the rural areas?
Yes, that's a part of things that we've been also working out. Like because I understand people who are in city is much more available to reach out on this kind of platform to understand. But I think facility of having a phone and social media is not a struggle anymore for many of us.
Mm,
Unless there's
mm,
a small, but there is still a smaller group that people who are like they want to explore but they got no ways to come out of it. Yeah,
right.
so these are the things that currently that I think government should look into, like because we still have a lot of people that need educations, need facilities for the education, and need to have some awareness, at least in that place. So we should start, like people whoever are actively involved, they should like start going into this kind of places to give the awareness. That is
Right.
my opinion,
Mm,
instead of continuously developing in the city or the well
yeah.
placed develop, so they
Right.
should start having choose their places, like you
Mm,
have to at least literally go 2 weeks once to communicate with them, to engage with them,
mm,
to give them some awareness, and
mm,
and it can be done from anyone, or unless people from there, they can try to see how they want to engage, come out, learn some things. Of course, now it's a pandemic and lockdown. There's a lot of challenges, despite the challenges that we already going through.
yeah. Yeah.
But but I think it will start changing, and I think government should really start looking into
Mm,
this kind of issues in urban areas. Like how to
okay.
we bring up those people as well.
Right. So, as a party member, let's say, for example, I've decided, okay, I think I want to start this program to reach out to rural areas. So,
Mhm.
as a member, do I have a say to start and then let people, collect people to join me to do this program, or like, is there like, there's a bureaucracy there that you have to ask permission first, or only certain people can decide on what activities that can be done? How does that work?
You can always propose. okay, as a member, you can always voice out what you want to do. And of course, when you're already a member, you already know where who are the people that you are liaising with, or
Mm,
having some advisors and all. So of course, you can still run your own show. It's just that if you're bringing the party name and getting involved the party people and all, it is
mm-hmm,
better for you to get some second opinion, third opinion within the members, or within the higher, a bit more higher authority
mm,
than you, in order for you to get your things done smoothly.
right,
Not to stop you, but to at least get things done smoothly, and to be more precise on whatever that you're doing. Okay,
right,
so probably you might want to, you might know the program that you're doing will be beneficial when within the party member itself, that you have some talents to bring in,
right,
so you wouldn't know that until you voice it out, right?
right.
So that's the part that you need to understand. Yeah. So I think
Mm,
if you already become member, you already know how roughly your party works, and how do you go about organizing something and doing for the
mm-hmm,
people. You don't need to wait for everybody to come. You just can do it.
right,
You just that
right.
do it right,
Mm,
and better you have some advice and second opinions.
okay, okay. So my next question is again, in order to reach out to the rural area people, how these people, I mean, it's sad to say because they're not politically aware. They sometimes, when election comes, they just vote for a party that, oh, my dad voted for this party, my grandfather voted for this party, so I will continue voting for this party. Or they are easily bought with freebies, or just that random appearance of a politician during elections, and they get happy about it. We not by not And they're not being critical of, wait, what have you done to my constituent, what have you done to help the people of my constituent. They have never asked these kind of questions. So how to create awareness regarding that part, because so that the more aware people are, the better it would be, because at the end of the day, that whole the power lies in their hands to vote for the right person.
Yes, I agree with that. Yes, a tough question. but but how do you create the awareness? Okay,
Mm,
so of course, as I said, the government or any parties should start, going in the urban areas to give, awareness, and people should start understanding, getting freebies or just, getting some things are not the only thing that matters. All right, in
right, that's
overall,
fine.
yeah, in overall, I mean, I think according to the crisis now, most of them are already aware of what's happening in
I
politics.
hope so.
So even in urban areas, people will be like, "What is happening?" Like I think compared to those days, youngsters or urban people, like if you compare now, I think now is a bit more aware, because now they have smartphones, they have social medias, and at least they have a TV to watch news. Like
Right,
compared to those days, of course, they don't have this kind of facilities.
right.
So, but of course, there are certain percentage to cover still for these people, right? So I
Mm,
think it's just that the youth, NGOs, or political parties should start, giving the awareness,
right,
on how exactly we want to bring the country politicians. It because country politician, our country is a democracy country, so our leaders are chosen by people. So
exactly.
people should understand that that is their only rights in the country. It's not only about getting things, about just seeing somebody that in a leadership position. It's
Yep.
about choosing the right people, into this. So how do
Right,
you dream of your country in the next 10 years? So you have to decide who will be the best person to make your dream come true.
mm,
So that is what the awareness that they should start having. And I think now a lot of platforms are there. It's just that we have to work a bit more harder to reach out
mm,
to people, and to be more visible on what is happening at the back end of politics, apart from just seeing what is happening in the TV, or in the
mm.
in the front end. So that is the thing that everybody should start looking at. It's not only
Right.
one person. Yeah.
Yeah, but I also think another one more group of people that I think we need to pay attention to is people who say, oh, I don't care for politics.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, it doesn't matter to me. Whoever comes into power, it doesn't matter to me. And I think that comes from a point of privilege, of course, because, no matter what happens, no matter what policy change, nothing is going to affect you. So you don't care. So what do you have to say for these kind of people?
How does it not affect your life when you don't care? It still does. Who decides your
Exactly.
plans? Who decides your policies? Who decides your rules? Who decides what you get today in this country?
Right. Mm.
Everything is politics, right?
Right.
So that is why we are fighting. There should be a right person in the right position in order for us to
Mm.
get the right things, right?
Right. Mm.
So I think these 2 years, for the past 2 years, I mean, even not 2 years, I would say from the last previous our election, there was a lot of things changes from the normal compared to the previous 10 years, right?
Mm.
There was a lot
Mm.
of things change. I mean, we had a different party formed as a government, and then after
Right.
that it was dropped. After that, suddenly there was another person came in the picture. So there was a lot of things was going on. So I think this period has already made people understand, like, how do we choose our leaders?
Mm.
Why is it so important? Why the politics is so important? Who gets to decide? You don't go out from your house for pandemic. Your prime minister decides that, right?
Correct.
So how does
Correct.
it not affect you?
Mm.
Affects you, right? So
Yep.
so that is why I'm saying, in every way there is the politics involvement in your life. I mean, apart
Mm.
from country politics, as I said previously, even if you're working in a corporate company, or you're working anywhere, or even any organization that you're involved, everywhere there's politics,
Right.
right? So it's just that you have to be right with your principles in order for you to win what you want.
Yep.
So don't blame the country politics alone. Don't.
Yeah.
We got a lot of politics around Malaysia. So,
Mm.
but being don't care, fine. You don't want to care, then don't complain. That's all, right?
Yep.
So,
Nicely said. So, because I would say it is relatively new. Your experience in politics, like what, 4 years, right? For the past 4 years. So, if there is where do you see? Okay, before I ask this question, where do you see yourself in the future? Like, what are you planning to do in this path of yours? Or are you like not keen to share because you scared you'll jinx it?
no, it's not that. It's just that I mean, like, of course, my journey into learnings and developing myself is a ongoing thing. So,
Mm.
where do I see myself? I at least want to be someone that to inspire another person. Okay, I just want to be an inspiration to others. Okay, I don't
Mm.
care what position I am, where am I, and and all. But it's just that, as long I can inspire someone else, and as long
Mm.
I can still continue to help community in a bigger picture. Maybe today is still like a certain coverage, but of course I'm looking at it to go broader. So that's all is my aim. And apart from that, what do I say? Yeah, I'm just doing with no expectation. So I don't want to have my expectations. I'm just going with my flows.
Okay. Okay. So my final question, if there is an aspiring politician watching right now, what would be your advice for them?
Okay, but what will I advise them? Uh, Never lose hope. Okay, always fight and be positive of whatever that you're doing. If you
Mm.
know that you're doing right, just continue doing it regardless of what kind of challenges that you have, and don't doubt yourself always. So that's all.
Okay, I think that's great because I think the moment you join something as huge as politics, there's always going to be people who's going to second guess you, who's going to question your mission, your question your actions. So, oh, I have another question here.
Okay.
Do you think the pandemic is keeping Malaysia's politics messy? Do you think pandemic is the reason Malaysia's politics is still messy?
Mm, I don't think so. The pandemic was the reason. It's just that it was more visible because of its pandemic. I think
Right.
it was already there. It's just that couldn't see it until
Mm-hmm.
we had a pandemic issue
Mm-hmm.
ongoing. So it was more visible to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So and I think that is a positive part. It's a we take it as a positive thing because I think people are more even. I mean, people are aware more about politics and what is happening and why is it happening and all.
Mm.
So there was a lot of questions, there were a lot of like confusions and curiosity and all. So I think and number of youth have started to voice out what is happening and stuff like that, compared to, if you see, like those days, even when I was 18 years old, I didn't even care about politics.
Yes. Same.
I mean, we were just schooling, we were just studying, we were just happy. And then, like, of course, my father is a government staff, so I mean, he's a policeman. So I discussed with him a few things and all. That's all. It was not something important. Oh, I must go and get involved and start my politics career. No, there was no such thing. But if I am 18 years old now, looking at what is happening, I think I will just go and get in, as quickly as what I want to do, and things like that.
Right.
That's how it has influenced a lot of people in Malaysia.
Right. Right.
So and it also given the note how important it is a politician decision to the country.
Right.
Yeah.
But and also I also think it is keeping it messy as well, right? Because now, okay, let's say for example, with all the situations that's happening right now, with all the problems, the things that are happening right now, I mean, we should be having an election, but we can't because of the pandemic, right? So it is prolonging the mess. We
Yes,
just
it
have
is.
to. Mm,
It is prolonging, but I wouldn't say it's a permanent things. Okay, because I can't comment anything because we just had a new prime minister, so
right.
we should see how things goes with the new prime minister and how things gonna be, and
Mm,
and what is your decision that you're gonna make for your next election is all
yeah.
matters. So
Yeah.
it's a challenging period for our country. I mean, we can
Yeah.
listen. I think if we have youths and today's youths to come in and like to see yourself how important you are to make a changes, I'm sure the next election is going to be a plus and boom.
Right.
So and whatever that you can contribute, whatever that you can do, please do it. And don't forget to register yourself as a voter. That is the most important thing. And I think most of us are, uh, I mean, especially the younger generation, they don't know. Probably they don't know and they're not aware how important it is.
Mm,
So please get your register done as soon as possible by this month. So I think
mm,
that's gonna give some changes to our country.
right.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I also think I want to add that, I don't want, I hope people are not disheartened by, oh, what is the point? We wanted something to happen and, what is this mess? I'm not going to vote anymore. I think we also need to encourage that, you shouldn't take heart
Yeah.
with what has
Yeah.
happened because that's
Correct.
what people want you to do. So you don't want that to happen. You need to continue making decision for us.
Yeah, don't give
Yeah.
up so easily. That's the only thing. I mean, you can see, like, even though despite of whatever challenges that we are going through this pandemic, people are not giving up. They're still trying to live like there's no tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So of course, politics in Malaysia has been a very very long time, journey. And when even the last time different government took over, there's a lot of things to set right. It
Right.
can't be happening in one overnight.
Yes.
Like, there's a lot of things. Even like I didn't know there's this kind of huge things that affect until I decided to take myself in.
Mm,
So you can't judge people. You can't simply say things without having your facts right, and
right.
without seeing things on your eyes, hearing on your ears. So
Mm,
yeah, so you have to really change that mindset.
right. Right. I think this was a really great informative episode because I learned a lot. Thank you so
Really.
much, Anita.
Okay.
Yeah, because yeah, I did. Yes.
Okay.
So
So
I
I hope
hope as
I
much as
at least I mean I hope I have at least given some informations to whoever is watching this, something that I have contributed to you. So if I have said anything wrong or anything harsh or anything, not making you happy, I'm really sorry. But I hope I have given my best inputs based on my own experience.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I feel like I really hope a lot of people now are more interested. And I think for me, the biggest takeaway was the fact that, there is an avenue for people to contribute, even if it's a little bit, through choose a political party that you align with and then, do good through them, and I think that's a great way to start.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Thank you so much.
So if anyone, youth women are looking to come into politics and you think you need some personal advice, you can still reach out to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much,
All
Tammy,
right.
for having me. I think it's a very great section. I think thank you so much
Yes.
for giving me the opportunity to say some things, and at least one or two people have understood what is really happening at the back. I think I'm much more than happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you are happy today, right? Because you got to understand few things that you didn't know about it.
Yes.
So
Yep.
that's my concern. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Thank you
Okay.
so much. Have a good
Thank you.
weekend. Have a good night. Stay
Thank
safe.
you. Yeah. Stay safe. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so with that, we can wrap it up. Thank you so much for spending an hour with me, listening to my questions. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for tuning in until the end. So don't forget, if you are not interested, I mean, you are not a YouTube person, you can always listen to all the episodes from the first season till now on Spotify as well. So I will see you all in 2 weeks. Till then, stay safe. Good night. Have a good weekend.